data items with a common name. For example, in your class, you are having 60 students. I want to store that 60 students register number in one array with the name of an array as a register number. Now, I can able to do that with the help of a structure array. So if I am going to specify int register number of 60, it means that I can store 60 register number in that particular array. All the register number are of same data type. All are integer only. So you can say array is a collection of related data items. And whatever we are going for using arrays means it is used to store large amount of data. So if you want to, for example, as I told, the 60 students register number, I can store with a one single variable name. If I am not using array, then what I have to do? For a first student, I have to declare separate variable. For second student, I have to declare separate variable like register number 1, register number 2, register number 3. Like that, the number of variable which I am going to use is going to be increased. If I am going to have 100 students, then I have to use 100 register number, 100 variable to store the register numbers. So instead of that, I can have only one array. There I can store all the 100 students register numbers. And how will you specify the position of each value which is present in an array now? With the help of an index. That index value starts from a 0. That index value starts from a 0. For example, if you can see here the array size is 10. Can you able to see this array? Can you able to see?
Yes, ma'am.
And here, what is an array size? What is the size of array? How many data I can store there?
10, ma'am.
10 data, 10 data I can store. And for example, if this array I have specified as an integer, I can store 10 integer value. If I specified this as a string, then I can store 10 string component. For example, name of the student I want to store here. So in the first place, I'll be storing first student name. In this place, second place, I'll be storing next student name, like that. So 10 student name I can store in this array. So as I told, the index starts from a 0. And here you see the index ends at a 9. So how can you access the value which is present in this array now? You can specify, for example, my array name is A. A of 0 now, I'll get the first value. A of 9 now, I'll get the last value. Is there any doubt? The value which is present in an array can be accessed with the help of an index. So, for example, this array name is A. If I am giving A square bracket, within the square bracket, if I have given 0, then I'll get the first data item in the array. If I am giving A of 9, then I'll get the last data item which is present in this array. This array size is a 10. Clear? Can I proceed? Am I going fast or can you able to understand? Reply. I need reply. Good. Can I proceed? Okay. Next, if you are going to use an array, first you have to declare an array. Then you have to allocate the memory space for an array. And then you have to put the values into an array. In two ways, you can specify the array. First one is form 1. In that you will be specifying type of an array and then array name, square bracket you will be specifying. It is a one-dimensional array. In another way, you can specify type of an array, square bracket, then array name. And for example, int square bracket student. So here student is an array and it's of integer type. And the second syntax you see, int student square bracket. And both are same only. There are two ways you can specify or you can declare an array. Is there any
Excuse me,
doubt? Yes.
ma'am. I can't able to see the screen.
What about others? What about others?
Visible, ma'am.
Visible.
Present your screen, ma'am.
Already I'm.
Visible, ma'am.
Then you have to check yourself only, ma. You have to ping to the presentation which is listed to you. You go to people, there you'll have presentation like that. For all
Ma'am,
of this,
PPT is not visible, ma'am.
not visible now.
Yes,
For,
ma'am.
for everyone now.
We should pin the PPT to presenting screen.
ma'am.
That they have to do with their mobile only.
Students how to do.
Student only has to ping now, not myself. I have presented.
Yes,
Ma'am.
You need to ask for me.
Student have to ping to the presentation. Pin to the presentation. Who is? Can you name who is facing the problem?
The presentation not showing to me, ma'am.
Ma'am, PPT is not visible, ma'am.
Not visible. Okay. From the beginning, it is not visible, ma'am.
Initially it was, but now it is not.
Now I have stopped it.
Oh.
Now?
Now
Is it
also it
visible?
is not. Now it is showing, ma'am. Started showing.
Students, shall I go to the previous slide? Up to this, you can able to see now previously.
Yes, ma'am.
Shall I proceed now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you can declare an array in two different ways. First one is you can specify the data type, array name, and the square bracket. Second way is you can specify type, array, the square bracket, and then name of an array. Example is, for example, if I want to declare a student as an array, integer array, I can go for int square bracket student. And or otherwise, I can go for using the second form, that is int students array. What is the difference between these two? No, nothing. It is a in two different way form you can represent or you can declare an array. Form of specifying an array is different, but the work which is going to be carried out is same. In both the cases, I am declaring an array with the name of a student. Its data type is an int. See, in the previous case, we have declared an array. Now you have to allocate the memory for an array. How can we allocate the memory for an array now? With the help of a new keyword. With the help of a new keyword only, you can able to allocate the memory. So, for example, student is equal to new. And what is the data type of a student? It is an integer array. So that data type you have to specify int of 7. So in the previous, here I have done as a two-step. In the previous case, and I have first declared an array. Here I have allocated the memory. Instead of doing in a two different line, I can go for having a single line also. So how can I do that now? I can specify int. Can you able to see this? What I am typing? Yes or no? So I
ma'am.
can specify like this also. Int square bracket students is equal to mu int of 7. Like this also I can specify. So instead of using two line, first declaring, then allocating memory, I can go for declaring like this. Here both the declaration as well as the memory allocation is done. I can go for using the single line also. And how to initialize a value to an array. For example, student is an array that we have already created. And what is the size of a student array? It is a 7. Size of a student array is a 7. And in the first question, if I want to put the value 50, then I can go for doing indexing. So students of 0, it means it points to the first location of an array. There I'll be putting the value 50. So in the next memory location of an array, that is students of 1, I'll be placing the value 40. Like that, I keeps on putting the values by specifying specific index. Okay. And instead of in the previous cases, what we have done, we have declared, we have allocated the memory. Instead of that, we can create an array with the initialization itself. So how can you do this now? Here you see it is int square bracket a is equal to 12, 13, 14. So here I am doing in a declaring memory and memory allocation as well as initialization. Everything I am doing within the single line. Within the single line I am doing. So here, what is the size of an array A? Can you tell? What is the size of an array A?
3, ma'am.
3. It's a 3 and its type is integer. So like this also I can do within a single line. I can declare, I can allocate memory, I can initialize the value. And the second one also same. It is going to perform the same operation. Here also I am specifying A is an integer array. I am allocating memory as well as I am initializing the value. So in what way you are comfortable, you can go for using it. And if I want to know the length of an array, so already somebody have been created an array and I want to know the length of an array. Now I can go for using the function which is available there, length. So student is an array which we already created. If I want to know the length, then I can go for giving students dot length. So already I have created the students integer array. The size of it is 7. So the value which is returned by this students dot length will be 7. That 7 will be stored to a variable x. So if I want to know the length of an array, I can go for using array name dot length. So in that case, I'll get what is the size of an array that I can able to get. And here it is an example of accessing a particular value which is present in an array. For example, if I want to know what is the second value which is present in an array students now, the second value's index position is 1. Why? Index starts from a 0. So students of 1, it returns a second value which is present in my array and that value will be stored into X. And here is an example program. And here it is going to perform array declaration and memory allocation. And then it is going to specify length of an array. And it is going to store values 2 into I. That means in terms of 2's 0, 2, 4, like that it is going to store the value into an array. And then it is going to display this value. Can I run this in an online compiler? What type of online compiler you can go for using? Java Online compiler. What type of compiler? So in a Google, if you are typing Java Online compiler, it shows different compiler and you can go for using those. So I am going to give this as a array demo. Can you able to this? Can you able to see this? How will you start a Java program? Can anyone tell? What are all should be there in a Java program? Have you executed some program previously? Yes or no?
Class.
Class,
Main
class
function.
name, class,
Main.
class name. So here public is an access specifier. Can you able to see the screen? Online compiler which I am having? Yes or no? Students? Can you able to see the program now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So all the Java programs should have a class name. Without that you cannot have. And access specifier, it is an optional. And here, since I am going to use an online compiler, here I must have the access specifier as a public. There are so many other access specifiers are there, like a default. Default means if we have not specified any access specifier, then it becomes default. Other access specifiers are private protected, that we are going to see later. And here, since it is an online compiler, I must give public, otherwise this compiler won't work. So in a normal JDK and all, you can go for having just a class name. It means it takes the default one. So in the case of Java, you should have class keyword and then the class name. Here I have given my class name as a array demo. Array demo is my class name. And Java program should have main method. How many main method can be present in one program? Can you tell? How many main method can be present in one program? Only one. Very good. Very good. Many of you are giving answers. And only one main method we can have in a single program. In a single program, you can have only one main method. So the syntax of main method in Java is public, static, void main, string argument. And what do you mean by all these things? Public is an access specifier. Static. Static means the static main method can be accessed with the class name. No need of any object creation of that particular class. You can execute this main method with the help of this class name itself. That's why main method is a static. Static methods can be executed with the help of a class name. Objects are not needed to execute the static method. Void is a return type. Main is a method name. String argument. It is you can pass a string argument to the main method by default. You can pass a value to the main method, and it is like a command line argument which you studied in a C language. So while running your program, you will be giving some input. That input will be placed into this array. So what kind of input you can give to the main method in a Java means string values. String values you can give as an input to the main method while running your program. And here what I am doing, I have declared an integer array. So here what I am going to do now, I am going to put everything in a single line. So that is array declaration and as well as memory allocation. So I will be putting in a single line. So I am declaring an array A. It is of type integer and the size of an array is 7. Okay. And then So in a single line, sorry. Is there any doubt with this? I am declaring an array A. Its size is 7 and it is of integer data type. Is there any doubt with this? Is there any doubt? If you have a doubt in the array declaration, you can unmute and ask. So I am declaring an array A with the size of 7 and its data type is integer. Next, what I am going to do now, here I am having system.out.println. So what is the use of system.out.println now? If I want to display some data on the screen, if I want to display some data, some string on the screen, then I can go for using system.out.println. So here within a system.out.println, I am giving within the double code, I am giving array length is equal to. So array length is equal to means it will that the string will be displayed as it is into the screen, plus this plus is for concatenation. You can add two string with the help of plus. Plus is for concatenation. A dot length, as I already told, what is the use of length? Can you tell what is the use of length? Can anyone tell? Length gives a length of
Find the
an
length of
Array.
array. Length gives a length of an array. Okay, so what will be the value of it now?
7.
7. So array in the output, I'll have array length is equal to 7. A dot length will return the value 7. Okay, and here I am having one for loop. I am having one for loop. For int I is equal to 0, I less than a dot length. I plus plus. What is the value of a dot length? 7. The value of a dot length is 7. Why? The size of an array A is 7, so I will have a 7. So I value increased from a 0 to 6. I is less than 7. It means I value ranges from a 0 to 6. And I am putting the value into an array. Initially, what is the value of I? In the first iteration, the value of I is 0. So in A of 0, it will put the value 2 into I, 2 into 0. So 0 will be placed. So I will have, in A of 0, I'll have the value 0. In the second iteration, what is the value of I? First iteration, yes.
1 more.
Yes. In the second iteration, the value of I is 1. So A of 1 is equal to 2 into 1. It is 2. So in A of 1, I'll have 2. Can you able to follow? And in the next iteration, what is the value of I? 2. A of 2 is equal to 2 into 2. What is it? 4. So in A of 2, I'll have 4. So it keeps on going till my I value is equal to 6. Once my I value changes to 7, then this condition will be false. It will come out of my for loop. So in an array, I am putting the value like 0, 2, 4, 8, like that. Clear? Clear or not? 0, 4, 0, 2, 4, 6, like that I will be having. So and then here by using another for loop, I am printing that value. I am printing that value, system.out.println A of I. So we will see what's the output which we are getting. In this system.out.println, what is there? Within the double quote, just I am giving value stored in array. That will be displayed as it is into the screen. So now I will be executing this. We will see what's the output which we are getting. 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Is it clear? Yes or no? Is it clear, ma? Can you able to understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So my initial A of 0 la I'll have 0, A of 1 I'll have 2, A of 2 I'll have 4, next location 6, next location 8, 10 and 12. Okay. And can we do some other program here like this? Can I able to get, first let me initialize the value. Can I initialize some value here? What I am going to do now, same array I am going to keep. I am going to have the value like this 2, 4, 6, or otherwise I'll go for 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Totally how many values? And then 7. So these many values I have placed into an array. Okay. Now I want to find sum of that value. How can I do? How can I do? I want to find sum of the value which is present in an array. By using for loop we can able to do. So for that sake we need one variable sum. So I'll be initializing that variable, declaring and initializing that variable. Int sum is equal to 0. Am I going fast? Can able to follow? Ma, unmute and tell. Is there any doubt?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
So in the previous program, we have stored some value into an array and that value we have displayed. Now I am going to do another program. In that program, what I am going to do now, I am going to have one array. There I am going to initialize some values. Okay. That here same array size is 7. There I have initialized a value 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. That array contains the value 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now what I am going to do, I am going to find sum of elements which is present in an array. This you would have already executed in the last time itself. Just you see this as a recollection. Okay. And those who could not able to understand, you try to understand better and try to understand similar kind of other program. Okay. At the end of the session, I'll be giving some program and those program you have to do. So here I am going to find sum of element which is present in an array. So I have declared one variable int sum and it's of integer that is initialized to the value 0. And here I am going to have that is a dot length. I am going to display size of an array. And then here sum is equal to sum plus a of I. Within the for loop, I am going to get each element which is present in an array. I am going to add that to the sum. So initially my I value is 0. So in the first iteration, sum is equal to sum plus a of I. What is my sum value previously? It is 0. A of I. What is there in a of 0? Can you tell what is there in a of 0? 1. So 0 plus 1, it becomes 1. So now my sum value is 1. It goes for second iteration. What is the I value in the second iteration? It is 2. Sorry, 1. In the second iteration, I value is 1. In A of 1, what value is there? 2. Already what is the sum value? 1. 1 plus 2, 3. So sum value now becomes 3. So it keeps on going till my I value is less than the a dot length. That is my I value is less than 7. Till that time, it keeps on going and it finds sum of element which is present in my array. Now, I want to display that sum value. So how can I do that? How can I do? At the end of for loop execution, I'll get the sum of element which is present in my array. I want to display that value. So what I'll do, system.out.println sum of elements in an array. And plus I am going to use it for concatenation. Which variable has a sum? The variable name is sum. So now I am going to execute this. What's an error?
In line 5 error, ma'am. After 7
No.
closing bracket.
Here what braces I have to give?
Lower base.
Curly braces I have to give. Okay. So we'll try like this. Come on only.
Ma'am, attendance, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. I have downloaded, ma'am. I'll give it 11:15.
Sorry for the interruption, ma'am.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
went to the meeting and I came again, ma'am, and I can't able to see your presentation again.
And you have to ping for the presentation, ma'am. What about others?
Presentation is not showing to me, ma'am, to pin.
Ma'am, with your mobile only or system only you have to do. I cannot do anything from my side, I think.
The presentation is not shown to me, ma'am. To pin also.
What about others, pa?
Yes, ma'am. Visible for us.
Ma'am, from my side, I cannot do it for each and individual persons, ma'am.
Ma'am, at the last, the link will be available, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Now I got it.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Sorry for the disturbance.
Okay, no issues, ma'am. Okay. You see, I have declared as well as initialized there itself, and 7 values are there. You try out all the possibilities, and here the sum of these elements, that is 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7, it's a 28. I am getting 28. Okay. Is there any doubt with these two programs? Students? Is there any doubt? Can you respond? Shall I proceed? Whether now my PPT is visible? Unmute and tell. I can.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So we have seen with related to array, we have seen two simple program only. That is, we have declare an array, we have place some value, initialize some value into an array, and we display that value. That is one first program. And in the second program, I have initialized some value into an array, and I found sum of element which is present in an array. And next example program which we are going to see is that is finding minimum value and maximum value. That we will see. Before that, we'll see what we mean by two-dimensional array. And have you previously used a two-dimensional array? Have you done matrix manipulation? Yes or no? So previously, up to now, we have seen about one-dimensional array, and we will have one array there. We can store n number of values, and we can go for using a two-dimensional array also. And in that case, we will have many number of rows and many number of columns. And here is an example where it has 4 rows and 3 columns. And how to declare a two-dimensional array now? Syntax is going to be same. In the case of one-dimensional array, we will be using one set of a square bracket. In the case of two-dimensional array, we will be using a 2 set of square bracket. One is to specify row and other one is to specify the column. So we will have an array declaration like this: two-dimensional array, int my array square bracket, that is 2 set of square bracket, is equal to new int of 4 3. It means 4 number of rows and 3 number of columns I can have in my two-dimensional array. And how to initialize the value into that two-dimensional array now? Here you see last at the end, and int table A of 2 3. That means 2 rows and 3 columns. Yes. Is there any doubt? So table A is a two-dimensional array. Number of rows are 2, number of columns are 3. So how can I put the value into that now? Like this. So first row value, then second row value I'll have. In the first row, I'll have 3 value. Why means 3 column I am having. The second row, I'll have 3 values. Why means I'm having 3 columns. So instead of specifying like this, the number of rows and column also you can able to initialize. So here in both the cases, the work which is going to be done is same. Both will give the same output only. Table A, first table A also will have 2 rows and 3 columns. In the second declaration of table A also, it is going to have 2 rows and 3 columns. Here we have specified number of rows and columns. Here we have not specified, directly we have initialized. Based on the value which you are giving, the size of an 2D array will be considered by the Java compiler. And it is another kind of array, that is jagged array. So in the case of jagged array, each row can have different number of columns. Each row can have a different number of columns. And here, how many number of rows are there? Now, 3 rows are there, but I have not specified number of columns here. So this kind of array is known as a jagged array. It is a variable size array, or otherwise you can name that as a jagged array. And I can go for specifying like this, that is 3 rows, but number of column I have not specified. I can specify separately the number of column. That is, in A of 0, number of column is 3. In A of 1, the number of column is 2. And in A of 2, the number of column is 4. This is only for your information only. Mostly in your curriculum, you don't have a that is array like this. You are not going to manipulate on this jagged array. You should know that these kind of arrays also there in a Java. That information you should know. That knowledge you should know. And you are not going to work on this jagged arrays. You will be using a one-dimensional array, and in the case of matrix and all, we will be going for using the matrix and all, we will be going for using the two-dimensional array. Program with help of a jagged array is rare in your curriculum for you. If you want to learn more, you can able to learn also. There won't be any problem for that. Okay, and this is going to be your homework. What is it? Write a program to add matrix, two matrix. So first you have to declare two matrix, so two-dimensional matrix A and B, and you have to specify the matrix size as a 2 into 3, 2 rows, 3 columns, and then you perform the matrix addition. Logically, it is going to be same as it is in the case of C programming. So this is going to be your homework today. You have to write a program for adding two matrix. You have to use a two-dimensional array in the case of Java. And you can go for creating an array of objects also. Array of objects, usually how will you create an object? How will you create an object? Class name, array name is equal, class name, object name is equal to new class name. Like that only you will be creating an object of a class. So instead of creating a single object, if you want to create a array of object, means that also possible. So same concept you can go for using creating an array of object. Instead of creating single object, if you want to create an array of object of a class, that is possible. So here is an example. Circle is a class name. Circle array is an object name. Number of objects which we are creating is 25. So 25 objects are created for the class circle, and that objects are of array type. And here is another program. Here we are going to find minimum value in an array. And how to find minimum value in an array? I'm going for online tool. So here we are going to have a class. So as I told, since it is an online compiler, I must specify the access specifier as a public. And this kind of program which you have already seen. Have you seen method and all previously? Yes or no? Unmute and tell. All are following or not? So here I am having a one method. Name of the method is min, and I am going to pass an array as an input to this method. So I am going to find the minimum value. Can we go for using function, or just like that we will be using? Shall we go for using function, or simply I can do the program without any function?
Function, ma'am.
Okay, good. Okay. So here, is there any doubt? I am having a class keyword. Public is an access specifier. Class is a keyword. My class name is minimum. Minimum is my class name. And here I am having one function. This is my one method. In Java, we will be saying this as a method. Function and method are same only, but in Java, we will be naming this as a method. So I am having one method, and that method name is min. And I am having one main method. So this is user-defined method. Min is a user-defined method. And in any Java program, as I told, you should have one main method. Only one main method you should have. So that main method I am having. So whenever we are executing our program, the program execution starts from the main method only. Okay. First, I will execute each and every line. Then I will go for telling how it is executed. So I'll first tell about this function. What I am going to do in this function, the function, method name is min. Its return type is void, and it is of static method. I am saying this as a static method. As I already told, main is also static method. What is the difference between normal method and static method? Now, static method you can call with the help of a class. So with the help of a class name. So if you want to call some method directly within the same class, then you can go for having the static method. For a static method, no need to use an object to call that particular method. Okay, class name itself enough to call that particular method. That's why I have specified static. If I am removing the static and I am following the same structure, then it is going to show an error. So why means here I am calling that function min of a without any object. It is possible only if I am declaring this method as a static. Okay, static method can be called with the help of class. Okay, that understood now. We are going to see about the static members separately in the first unit itself. Now, static methods can be called with the help of class name. That you should understand. So, void means it is a return type. Min is a method name. And one argument is there. That argument is of array, integer array. So, there only I am going to have my values. In that array only I am going to find the minimum value. And then within this method, I am declaring one variable min. So shall I change this? Both my method name and variable name is going to be same. So instead of because of clarification, I'll be changing this as a yum. Okay. I don't want to keep my method name and variable name same. I don't want to confuse you. So my method name is min. My variable name is a. Okay. A is initialized to the value of a of 0. And then for loop I am going to use, and for I is equal to 1, I less than a dot len I plus plus, and here I am checking if m is greater than a of I, then min is equal to a of I. So while at the end of this for loop, I'll be going to have my minimum value which is present in an array to the variable min, and that value I am going to display here. Now we will go with an example. As I told, is there any doubt with this? Again, we will go there with from here. So as I told, any program can be executed in a Java, and the program execution will start from the main method only. So if I am going to execute this program, my program execution start from the main method only. In the main method, what I am having, int a array is equal to 12, 13, 14, 5 I am having. Okay. And now min of a, I am calling the method. Min is my method name. I am calling this method and I am passing this array as an argument. So this array a will come with the value of 12, 13, 14 and 5. So now you come here again. So a of 0, what is the value which is present in a of 0? So I will write it here. What is the value which is present in a of 0?
12.
12. So the value which is present in a of 0 is 12. So 12 is initialized to the value of variable m. And then I is equal to 1. For loop, in the for loop, I is equal to 1. I less than a dot length. What is a dot length?
4.
So I value ranges from 1 to what? 1 to
4.
it is less than 4. That means what it is? What it is?
3 max.
Okay. My I value for loop will be executed with the I value of 1, 2, 3. That's it. So it is less than 4. And then, so now first iteration la I value will be 1. Okay. And now m is greater than a of 1 now. What is a m value? 12. Is it greater than a of 1? What is there in a of 1? 13. Whether 12 is greater than 13. Is it true?
No, ma'am.
No. So since it is false, it will not execute this. It will not execute min is equal to a of 1. That will not be executed. Why means if condition is false. Then it will go for next iteration. In the next iteration, what is my I value? It is 2. My I value is 2. And min value is same. It is 12 only. It is not changed. Okay. And now m is greater than, what is my a of 2? A of 2 value. My a of 2 is 14. My a of 2 is 14. Yeah. Whether the condition is true, 12 is greater than 14, yes or no?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No, it is false. It won't execute the statement. It will go for next iteration. Next iteration la I value, what is it? 3. I value is 3. So what is a of 3? A of 3 value?
5.
5. A of 3 value is 5. So I will be checking whether 12 is greater than 5. Yes, sir? M value is 12. A of 5 value is 5. Whether 12 is greater than 5? Yes. So condition is true. So min is equal to A of 5. What is there in min? What is there in A of 5? 5. So min is initialized to the value of 5. Okay. And then it won't go for next iteration. Why means I ranges from a 1 to 3 only. It is less than 4. So all my iteration in a for loop is completed. So min variable, m variable has a value of 5. And then in the system.out.println, I am executing min is equal to min colon, and I am printing the value of m. So in the output, I will have 5. Let me execute. What's a mistake?
Min, not min, ma'am. M will
Yes,
come.
I have changed the variable name as a m. So I should have that m only. Clear? What is my output? What is my output? What's output we are getting? This is output is shown here. What is output which I am getting?
5, ma'am.
5.
Min colon 5. Clear? Shall I change the values now here? I'll put 1, 12, 13, 1, 5. Array value I have changed. 12, 13, 1, 5. Now I am going to execute the same program. What's output which I am getting?
1.
1.
1. Clear? Can you able to understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So, okay. Same way you can go for using maximum. How to do? Now we found the minimum value in an array. I want to find the maximum value in an array.
In 8th line, if we want to change, ma'am, m less than of a.
Instead of m greater than a of I just change m less than a of I, so that I'll have my maximum value. So I have to change the class name also. Okay, I have given y means always our class name should be related to our problem. For what problem you are going to find a solution. Similar way, related to that only we have to give our class name. So I'll be changing my class name as a maximum and my method name as a max. Without changing name of a method and class also it works. But usually we should have our class name, method name related to our work, our problem. Okay. Is there any other change? Let me execute.
For output minimum, minimum with maximum.
Yes,
Printing
yes.
statement.
Yes. Very good. Now, so the maximum value which is there is a 13. If I'm changing some value, here let me give 101. 12, 13, 101 and 5. Again, I'm going to execute. Server problem. Have you seen what is the output which I am getting?
Yes, ma'am.
Maximum is 101. Maximum, this is my output. Maximum colon 101. Clear? With the same program, with a slight modification, I can able to get my maximum value. So if you understood the logic, one logic, minimum, how to find a minimum value, with that in your mind, you can able to write a program for finding the maximum value. Only one line, it is a mandatory to change. Other line, it is for our convenience, for our understanding, we have to change. Clear? Shall I go to my presentation? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So in array itself, initially we have seen how to, whether screen is visible, my presentation is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So yeah, we have in array concept, we have seen how to declare an array. Okay, how to declare an array, how to allocate the memory, how to initialize the value. With that concept, we have seen initially two programs. There we have declared an array, we have initialized the value, some value, and we have displayed that value. And then we found some of an element which is present in an array. The two basic program we have seen. And now we have seen how to find a minimum value and maximum value which is present in an array. And what is the homework which I have given? What is the homework?
Write a program to add two matrices.
Very good. So you have to write a program to add two matrix. You have to go for using two-dimensional array. Concept and all, it is similar to C program. Only declaration of an array is going to be differ. Other things are going to be same. And here is another program that is going to sort the element which is present in an array. And the same concept only. And here you see, just we are comparing two elements. A of I is greater than A of J. Other things are same. I have initialized the value. Okay. And then I'm calling the sort array method. It will come here. And within that, I'm having for loop, two for loop. So whenever you are going to do sorting of an array, you have to go for using the two for loop. So in any language, if you are going, either it is C, Python or Java or any other language, if you are going for sorting an element of an array, you have to go for using the two for loops. So within two for loop, you have to check whether A of I is greater than A of J. If it is so, then you have to swap the elements. So after, at the end of the swapping, all the elements will be arranged in a order. Either it is an ascending order or descending order. That will be decided by the greater than or the less than symbol which you are using in the if loop. If a time permits, I will execute this. Let me see what are the other things. Okay. Shall I execute this? Only this thing, this code only new. Okay. So as I told, your class name should be similar to your problem. So I'll be giving the class name as a sorting. So since it is online, I should specify the access specifier as a public. And then this is my method. It is here. Method name is sort array. Its return type is integer array, and it is of static method. In the previous case, we had the static method, but its return type is void. But here, its return type is integer. Return type is integer, and it is of array. And we are passing one argument that is also an array. Okay. So as I told, two for loop we have to use, and if condition, and if the condition is true, that in this if condition we are comparing one element with its next element, one element with other element which is present in an array. So if the condition is true, we have to do the swapping, and it is going to return an array. It is its return type is integer array, so it is going to return. And after that, it has to display that value. So how to display the value? System dot, can anyone tell? System dot out dot println. I want to display the array value, it all array element. So a of I. So listen. Okay, listen. So as I told, any program execution starts from my main method only. So it will start from here. So in the main method, I have declared a variable a. It is of array, and initialize the value 33, 43, 24, and 5. And here I am calling the method sort array with this array a. It is going to return some value. That value is stored into a. Okay. And here I am displaying that a value, a array content. What is happening here in this method now? I have declared one variable temp. I have used two for loop. As I told, if you are going to do any sorting, you have to go for using two for loop. One for loop is used to take one element from an array. Another for loop is used to take another element from a same array. And we'll be comparing those two elements. And here we are checking whether a of I is greater than a of j. If it is so, I'll be swapping the values. So at the end of execution of these two for loop, I'll have sorted element in an array. Let me execute. Illegal start of expression. So there is a problem with the number of braces. I should start and end. If it's closed here, this for loop is closed. I have to close another for loop here, and I have to close another. Okay. So here it is arranging all the element in the form of ascending order. How can I do in a descending order? Can anyone tell? How can I do in the descending order? All are there.
Along the line, you want to change the if condition, ma'am.
Yes, there. If you want to do in a descending order, only you have to change this if A of I is greater than A of j is there. If I am having like this, I will get in ascending order. If I want to have in descending order, I have to give A of I less than A of j. Now let me execute the same program. I'll get in a descending order. You see the output 43, 33, 24, 5. It is in a descending order. So same way I am executing another one greater than. So greater than, if I am using in the if, then I will get in a ascending order 5, 24, 33, 43. This is my output. Okay. In a Google Classroom, and you can refer all your notes which is present in a Google Classroom. First unit material is already uploaded. Your question, previous Anna University question is uploaded, and PPT also I'll be uploading. So you can refer your Google Classroom and you can understand, you can start studying. You know that in October you are going to have the exams. So you have to start preparing from now itself. So start preparing. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.